Hello and welcome to Africa 54. I'm Chamberlain Osowa, Channels Television here in Lagos. I'm joined by Esther Githu-Ewart at Voice of America in Washington.
Thanks. I'm Esther Githu-Ewart at our global headquarters in Washington, D.C. Happy to be with you again for another edition of Africa 54. Let's start off with a look at Nigeria and how the Senate seeks arm control.
Oh, that's right. A bill that seeks to establish a national commission against the proliferation of small arms and light weapons has passed second reading in the Senate. Majority of the lawmakers are in support of the bill, as it is expected to help address the security challenges in the country fueled by illicit arms. Channels Television's correspondent Linda Kibe reports.
Terrorists, kidnappers, bandits and armed robbers often rely on small arms and light weapons to unleash terror on Nigerians. And indeed, Nigerians are bearing the brunt of these horrors in almost every part of the country where different forms of insecurity hold sway.
The proliferation of small arms and light...
A federal lawmaker, Senator Smart Adeyemi, feels that a way to address insecurity is to establish a commission which will combat the problem of proliferation of small arms and light weapons in the country.
Mr. President, the objectives of the bill include to identify sources and main routes of these small arms, ammunition and light weapons, to liaise with the relevant authorities, agencies and organizations with the aim of tackling this menace.
If passed into law, the commission is projected to gulp the sum of 521,920,000 per recurrent, personnel cost and capital expenditure in the first year. Regardless of the financial implications of establishing the commission, some senators are in support of the bill, which scaled the crucial second reading.
The truth is this: we know all the gun runners that are in this country. The only thing is that those that are settled with that responsibility to actually take actions are not doing what they are expected to do.
Joining us to talk about national security and combating small arms and light weapons misuse is Chidi Wanu, a former British Army officer and security expert. He joins us from Abuja. Welcome to the program. Now, time was when Boko Haram insurgency got all the attention. It was the biggest security challenge in the country. Today, there are several other security threats. Now, last year, Nigeria's ranking as one of the most dangerous places to live in, that was by Forbes, and then followed after Brazil and South Africa. From your perspective, was this ranking a true reflection of the situation?
It's unclear whether it's a true reflection of the situation, but what it does reflect is that the situation in Nigeria has worsened and is much more serious than it was previously. So as you correctly stated, Boko Haram is now just one of many and possibly not even the worst problems facing Nigeria. You've got the bandits in the northwest, you've got the resurgence of Ansaru, another Islamic group that's affiliated with Al-Qaeda. You've got ISGS coming in from the Sahel. You've got bandits in the Middle Belt and kidnappers and herdsmen and farmer clashes and the militants in the desert. And that's just excluding all the normal rank-and-file street crime that's affecting Nigeria. So the life for the ordinary Nigerian is very, very dangerous.
One question that remains on the minds of many is how terrorists such as Boko Haram insurgents have access to sort of sophisticated ammunition. Is this a case of poor monitoring of such items coming into the country, or is it an illicit arms trade that is impossible to tackle?
Well, there's several elements. First, that we maybe should be very clear on is that a lot of what Boko Haram gets, they capture from the Nigerian army and also from the Cameroonian, Chadian and Nigerian army. Looking at their equipment, you can clearly see these are Nigerian army vehicles, Nigerian army uniforms, boots, weapons, etc. Sometimes you'll see exotic weapons, like the Israeli Galil or the IAA machine guns, and these again can be traced to other armies like the Cameroonian army. So the first thing we need to look at is how easily the Nigerian army or the armies of the MNJTF seem to lose equipment. either through capture, through loss, or any other means. And then the second thing we need to look at is also, as you alluded to, the porous borders, the smuggling routes that come from Central Africa and the Sahel that pass through that region and allow weapons to be trafficked from the war zones in Central Africa, the Congo, Central African Republic, etc., and also from Libya, North Africa, down into Nigeria.
Reports of heinous crimes emerge on a regular basis, many of them perpetrated by individuals who may ordinarily not be as profiled as criminals. What do you think is the reason for this trend?
I think we've kind of mentioned already that, life in Nigeria is very hard, very brutish. I mean, excluding, the fundamental dangers that I've mentioned, from terrorists, bandits, jihadists, etc. There's also, danger from criminals. And also danger from your own government in terms of, the police, regularly arrest young men and accuse them of being fraudsters, of being Yahoo boys. You've got, the general interaction between, the security forces and civilians is generally brutal. It's generally predatory. Either they're taking money from you or extracting something from you, or, treating you harshly. So when people live in a general environment in which every single interaction could be potentially dangerous or fatal, it generally leads people to overreact to very minor situations. So you hear of situations where, people killing their spouses over minor disagreements. Unfortunately, in an extremely harsh environment, that tends to be what you find, that people tend to overreact and turn little things into huge, and as you said, very heinous crimes.
Finally, what do you expect the authorities and security forces to do to improve the situation?
Well, the first and most important thing is political will, as in the government needs to be clear that there is a problem, they recognize the problem, and they want to solve it. So far, without being prejudicial, one would say that there seems to be an emphasis more on, appearances than on actually trying to solve the problem. And once you've got that political will, then you need to have a very clear plan. What is the plan to solve, the issues in Nigeria? Because we've got a variety of issues, and most of them come down to poor governance, but a lot of them come down, we've got some very crunchy military issues. So Boko Haram is a military issue on the surface, as in they're operating as a military force, or as a quasi-military force, that can only be defeated by a military force. Therefore, that's a military problem, which will then have to be, replaced by the police. At the same time, we've got our porous borders. How are they going to be policed? Will you beef up the customs? Will you give them more resources? You've got people coming in who can't be identified. How do we resolve that? We have the national identity card that's supposed to be coming out, but you have people who've registered it for years and still haven't received their cards. So there's no way for us to track who is in the country, who's coming into the country, because the borders are porous, and we've not even done a census to know how many people we actually have in the country. So there are many basic things that the government should be doing in terms of just planning for a solution and then implementing it.
All right, and security expert Chidi Nwanu, thank you for joining us today on Africa 54.